Alright guys, welcome to another episode of the Urban Garden 2020. Well, I've got a few things to go over, but first, if you haven't already, like the video, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe to the video. Just help us get a little bit of exposure on YouTube. So without further ado, let's look at some of the things that we've been working on and some updates. Alright guys. Alright, well here is our little propagation tent thing, whatever you want to call it. But let's take a look at what we've got here. Now we put some crepe myrtles in and some azaleas. And the crepe myrtles, if you see, most of the leaves fell off. But that was no need to get discouraged, because if you look, most of these have some green sprouting coming out. So not all of them. Some of them actually, it's very humid in here. So I got a little bit of, looks like a white mold. I'm going to pull those out. But we've got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't know if that one's 5 or not. It's kind of difficult to tell. But yeah, we've got 5, maybe 6 with some green, and 1 or 2 that look like they have something about to sprout out. The azaleas, they still have most of their green leaves, and they're in this just very damp, moist medium. This right here is 50% perlite, 50% peat moss. This right here is almost 100% peat moss. So very good for propagation and, just keeping everything going. So we'll go out and look around the yard and see some of the things we have, and I'll be right back. Okay, before we go outside, I just wanted to show y'all some tomatoes. That one's got some little soft spots, but anywho, a couple of these, as you can see, like this one is, about as big as my fist, maybe a little bigger, but it's a huge tomato. Another one right here, they were just about ripe when I took them off. Another one back here that's pretty decent size. Some large tomatoes, and these are different varieties. Some of these are Parker Whoppers, some are Cherokee Purples like these. I think that's what these are anyway. Some are just beefsteaks, and I think that's most of these varieties. Anyway, we've got several outside, but we'll walk out and see what all we've got going on out there. Okay, so we'll start over here, and we've got several more tomatoes right here. There's some ones getting almost ripe, very close. Oh yeah, we've got several right here that are ready to pick. Some more here, more green ones over here, and this tomato plant just keeps growing and growing, but it's doing pretty well, and we keep it watered fairly well. It's an area where it gets rain and then it gets just watering when I water it. So this tomato plant here is a little drier. Haven't really watered it. It's got a few tomatoes on it. Our watermelons here, some of them have kind of dried up a little bit. I haven't watered this area as much, and it gets direct sunlight all day long, so it's just in really a brutal spot. Another tomato here. This is another Cherokee Purple. I've got a tomato here that's just ready to pull off. There we go. Nice tomato plant, nice size. There's 1 or 2 more green ones down there. But again, this is in another area that gets a lot of sun. So a squash plant here, another tomato there. You can see some of the tomatoes just got ripe and fell off, and I just left them there. But another tomato plant here, another tomato that's about ripe and ready to pull off. So we'll just go on and pick it. Oh yeah, nice little tomato there. But cherry tomato here, and you can see several tomatoes on it. Another tomato plant there, here, and we just have a lot of tomato plants. Another tomato plant here and here, and as you can see, there are some more that are ready to pick, and my hands are starting to get full from picking the tomatoes. So I've got several inside, I've got these outside, and oh geez Louise, yeah, just almost too many tomatoes for me to keep up with, honestly. Another one down there, but my pockets are full, so hands are full, rather. So we'll just walk around the yard. We'll set these down somewhere. I'm not going to go down to the raised bed. I haven't put mosquito spray on, and luckily they're not eating me alive yet, but they will very shortly as soon as they locate me. This right here is our German Queen. She's huge, and I'm not sure about her. She's just grown greatly. I mean, she's 6 foot tall, and no blooms. I mean, she's just starting to get a few little blooms on her, so maybe she's a late bloomer. Oh, there's a little tomato right there, so maybe that's it. I know nutrient-wise we've kept up with her pretty good, and she's in a spot where she gets a little bit of sun, but not just 24-hour sun. But it looks like she's a late producer, so that's fine. Then a couple of the crepe myrtles we propagated, a white one there, a red one here. They look great. Our fern, our blue agaves, our yucca, everything's doing good. Some more watermelons here. These are actually doing pretty well. They get a lot of morning sun. Our avocado right there. Our elephant ear here and is doing really well. And then our chrysanthemum, our mom, over here. Another crepe myrtle there we propagated, and our palm tree, and it's over here by the pool. Oh yeah, our hibiscus here, sorry, just has blooms all over it. I haven't really done much. I mean, we fertilized it at the beginning of the year, and it's produced, but it's just, hibiscus in the warm part of the year. It's just gonna bloom and bloom and bloom, and you can see it's covered with blooms. Our banana tree in the planter here. There's our Japanese maple. This right here is supposed to be a pink Japanese maple. It gets orangish pink leaves when it goes into its fall season. Let me set these tomatoes down because they're just all in my hands, and I can't really maneuver. So a few tomatoes this morning. We got a bunch inside. There's our Thai hot pepper, and it's covered up, and there's just so many of them I can't keep up with them. This cherry tomato tree, bush cherry tomato, is covered in cherry tomatoes, and there's just so many of them I can't keep up with them. But you can see just clusters, almost like grapes, and more in the back. So and they're just growing all around. Another tomato plant there. Again, more peppers here, more peppers here. I think this is an eggplant. It could be an artichoke. I'll just have to look it up. I can't remember. I didn't mark it when I transplanted it, and I haven't really grown a lot of eggplant and artichoke. It doesn't look like an eggplant with the purple blooms, but I'm not sure. Another pepper here, and another pepper. I mean, we've got jalapenos and anchos and chilies, and just all kinds of peppers here. A spicy bell, Cajun bell, and then some more peppers here. Thought this was a banana pepper, but I don't think it is. I'm not sure. And then we have our Tabasco plant bush, and it is just covered in Tabascos. I mean, look at that. We can make pepper sauce. We can just do lots of things with these. You can use them to cook with, season. Most all the peppers you can reduce down. You chop up, put them in the skillet. You can get a nice hot spicy sauce off of them. Then, or you can just cut one, take a fork or knife and pierce it and put it in a pot when you're cooking, and it will season, and you can take the pepper out and not have to worry about the seeds and pepper if you don't want the flesh of the pepper in there. Another pepper plant here, and our purple crepe myrtle bloomed all out, and you can see most of our crepe myrtles down through here. The white ones have bloomed out. I believe they're like Natchez crepe myrtles. Actually, they're dwarf Natchez. I think that was the variety I ordered when I first got them, and we've got 3 here we've propagated that are pretty established. This was the newest one, so they should do pretty well. But yeah, this is a white one, and we haven't really pruned these back too much. This fall we'll go through, thin these out. I wanted to get these established for a year or two, let them grow, and they're shade producers somewhat during the summer. So I want them to get a little height before I prune them off. I don't want to crepe murder them, as they call it, but we go white, red, white, red, white, and then a lavender at the end. Then it goes white, purple, white, and I can't remember what the last one is. I was thinking I did red or purple on it. So we'll just go through, look at these, and the white ones. Crepe myrtles bloom on new growth. So we pruned these back a little bit just to get the growth direction away from going towards the neighbor's side of the yard. Here, going up the driveway, this is a divider. So I just pruned them back enough to keep the direction of growth going towards my side and up. So this year, during the fall, we'll go through and prune a lot of this lower growth off, and a lot of these suckers and these water sprouts. Just get those all off. And there's a red one, and this one's ideal. I mean, it's one main trunk. It splits up into two, about 2 foot off the ground, and then it goes up. So basically this one, other than thinning out the first, we'll come up probably right through here, somewhere 3-4 foot up or so, and then just strip everything down. And we'll probably make a video about that in the fall, or actually late winter. Usually around January-ish, February is a good time to prune crepe myrtles. But we'll go through and lop off the tops there just a little bit, because crepe myrtles bloom on new growth. So old growth like this here at the bottom just really doesn't get a lot of blooms on it. And some of it depends on the variety to how well it blooms on new growth and whatnot. But like this one right here, I pruned it back a little bit, and it's just got, boom, it sprouted up new growth all over. It's got two main trunks here, so we'll just need to thin this out a little bit. And sometimes what I like to do is take some of these, the lower growth, the suckers, and the water sprouts, and I'll just strip off the bark at the bottom and try to propagate it. So, and then there's this one here, and we pruned it back, and I'm trying to keep it a little smaller because it's at the end of the drive towards the road, and you can see it's just looks really nice, all the blooms. And just looking up the driveway, I'll just kind of flip this to the side, and you can go the purple, the white, the red, the white, the red, the white, the purple, the white, and then probably what's going to be red. So coming across the yard, the rose bush is just about finished blooming out. It still has a few little clusters of blooms on it, but it's kind of played out for the summer. This heat is, it just wilts a lot of things pretty quick. So, like it does us. I'm out in the sun for too long, I start to wilt down. And we did try to propagate some azaleas. Basically, when I pruned everything back, trimmed all the hedges back, I just put some in the ground. Some of them, like that one, has pretty much died. But then some of these are really green and look like, if I keep them watered, they might actually propagate and grow into a bush. So we'll see how that goes. Some more here, kind of the same way. 1 or 2 on the outside that are really exposed to the sun, just kind of wilted and died. But some of these on the interior just are still green and still look like they're growing. So our hosta there is looking nice. One of our hydrangeas down there, we'll walk around and check it out. It's pink. This one up at the top has a little more purple appearance to it. They need to be watered a little bit, so they're kind of wilted down some. Everything is, I think it's rained everywhere but here the last few weeks. I mean, I've been on the edge of it, and it's sprinkled for just a few minutes, just enough to really keep everything alive, but not to allow it to thrive and flourish. So, again, more crepe myrtles here, and all these crepe myrtles need to be trimmed back this fall. But this one's kind of a light lavender. Then we have another here on the lower side that's a darker purple. Then a white one here. And then this one's a pink, more of a fuchsia pink. And when we trim these back this fall, they'll get a lot of should get a lot of new growth. And as you can see, all these little trunks at the bottom, that needs to be thinned out probably to about 3. So I'll go through and trim those back really well. I may come back through the summer and trim some back. So here we've got a white one on the front, and on the back we've got another like fuchsia pink, and they're kind of mixed in this banana tree. You know, I'm growing, and this banana tree really has taken over, and I need to thin this out and propagate it because there are just shoots and stuff growing everywhere. I know some people that want some of these if I can get them, but look at this right here. I mean, this is just, these are huge. And then more on the back growing. There's another one that's just ginormous. I mean, from the Will Ferrell Buddy the Elf thing. But yeah, anywho, so I tried to propagate some of the azalea cuttings down here. It really didn't play out, but yeah, it just died basically right there. And you can see we still have some lilies blooming, and these gladiolas, they're blooming, but the heat just as soon as the sun gets to them, the blooms wilt. So they're pretty for a day or 2, 3 at the most, and then they start to wilt down. Yeah, they're just another lily here, and I'm a little late on this one. It probably was looking really nice yesterday and day before. The blooms were almost gone on it. And then more stuff here. You can see these gladiolas are blooming here really nicely. So over here, here's the hydrangea on the lower side. It doesn't get quite as much sun as the one on the upper side, so you know, it looks a little better. Just, you know, it's not struggling in the heat as much. Another gladiola blooming, but see, these are a little pinker, so that means the soil's a little more acidic, I think. And then right here, some of the trees we cut back. So I want to continue either today or tomorrow to come through and clear out some of this lower brush, because I'd like to put some crepe myrtles through here. Probably one right here, and just keep it trimmed off the power line. And then right here, this right here is a fig tree. So it's looking really nice. But covered with figs, and some of these are starting to ripen. Just, you can see as it starts to get that kind of brownish, pinkish tint. Let's try to get it to focus a little better. Right there we go. Yeah, so, and you can see there are figs all over the place in here. Needs, again, this right here, it's a little dry, and you know, figs produce in the summer, so, and it's pretty well established, so you know, we don't have to really worry a lot with the fig trees once you get them established. They don't take a lot of work. As a matter of fact, you know, other than just putting some mulch in and making sure they keep a little water, they're usually pretty fine. I mean, they're not going to thrive if you do a lot more with them. So the palms over here are both looking good. I've got some gladiolas planted around this palm. That one's doing well. Some gladiolas and some canna lilies down there. Just bees are still doing pretty well. They're busy. The mosquitoes have found me, so about to have to walk back inside. Our camellia there, doing pretty well. I watered it a few times just to help get it established, but that's what things are looking like around the yard. And you know, I mean, we're in a fairly urban area, in a kind of subdivision-ish. I mean, it's a little larger, but I've got some plans here. You can do so much in an area. I mean, even if you only have a little spot to put planters, you can do so many different things. But what I really want to do is around this retaining wall is come out about 2 foot and put me some type of edge stone down, you know, coming out like right through here, and then mulch it heavy so that'll help keep moisture and stuff in, give them a little more to root to, and do the same thing on the upper side too. And just circle this, and that'll help me with weed eating, because this is an area, as you can see, not as much on the lower side, but on the top, all this grass and stuff just grows all around. I have to keep it weed eated and pulled out, and it's just aggravating. So, you know, that'll help with a little bit of maintenance, and I can put some kind of fabric down to help prevent, the weeds and grass from growing through. But I have so many bulb plants, however, it's a little more difficult. You have to actually do it during the summer, so you can make sure you give space for all your bulb plants to grow through. But yeah, I may come out and prune some of these back now, this summer, and then we'll just come back and do a heavy prune this fall, winter, right before spring, and we'll see what we can do. This sunflower here happened to be one, I think this is one that just I planted last year, and then seeds must have fell, and several of them sprouted up, and this one just shot up. And there was one or two on the lower side too, and I know I didn't plant that many, so they'll kind of reseed the area if you let them. That's just looking around the yard today. We've got our other, we have some, gardenia sprouts that we are trying to propagate, and some blueberries that I got from a friend, and him and her, they gave those to me, so hopefully at least we'll get some of those propagated, and I'll have some more blueberry bushes. But got some poison ivy growing in there. I need to weed that out, so we'll get some snips and pruners and do what we can do to keep this cleared. But anyway, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Hope you all had a good 4th. Don't want to get on too big of a soapbox or too political, but it was some tragedies, and then just kind of hard to celebrate. We're celebrating our rights and freedoms, and rights and freedoms are getting taken away left and right. But regardless of your political stance, I'm sure more freedom is good, and more restrictions on people's personal rights is bad. So, just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I'm not. Other people have their opinions. They may not be wrong, but they probably are. Anywho, so y'all be safe. Enjoy the week. I am off this week, so yay me. You're going to see I did a nice bike ride yesterday at Cahaba River Park. I don't know if you guys like mountain biking, hiking, just trails and outdoors in general, but Cahaba is a really nice place. I enjoyed it. It was just, the trails were nice and flowy, not too steep, not really anything advanced, or too advanced, more intermediate and easy trails, but I like the intermediate and easy. You get to some of the real harder advanced trails, it's, for somebody like me that's in fair shape but not great shape, that's a decent rider but not a great rider, I just enjoy the intermediates a little better. But Cahaba River Park is a nice place to go. Super nice trails. Some are catered to mountain biking, but all of them are really good hiking trails. From what I saw, I only did basically probably a quarter of the trails. And I do I don't know if you've been, some other trails I enjoy. Red Mountain Park, super awesome, huge park, the largest in the state, so obviously it would have the most trails, but it's just really nice, and there's something for everybody: hikers, bikers, horse riders, everything you can imagine at Oak Mountain State Park. It's awesome. Tannehill, kind of the same way, not near as large, but a lot of nice trails, a lot of stuff there, history. One of the oldest state parks, I believe, if not state park wise, but one of the oldest sites in the state, dating back to pre-Civil War. So not like Birmingham, that's a newer city, although our largest city, but not nearly as old as the rest of the state. But another Lake Lorraine State Park in Tuscaloosa, actually toward Coker in Tuscaloosa County, is a really nice park. Nice trails around the lake. I've ridden them, and just I really like those trails. They're nice too, and because it's right next door, literally I can ride my bike from here to there. Red Mountain State Park is not a state park. It's like Cahaba. Well, Cahaba is actually a public park. That's a municipal park. Red Mountain's more of a privately funded and upkept park. Red Mountain, if you don't know the history of the area, like Tannehill was mining and ore for the steel industry, iron and ore for steel, and it was just thrived for a while and then died down when the steel industry died down, and it's been kind of actually I think it predates the city of Birmingham actually, but it's been turned into a park. There's a nice ore trail on the lower end going from Midfield into Red Mountain, and it's a super nice paved trail. That's the old rail trail, really nice. It's you can walk it. There's just some couple of slight inclines, but nothing huge. No big steep uh, climbs or drops on the first section, and then you go up the road to the other side, and it goes into the Vienna parking lot, Vienna Road side of Red Mountain, and it is a little steeper on that side. There are some climbs that are pretty good, some up and down hills, so then it leads straight into the trails of Red Mountain, and I usually take and start at the lower end of the rail trail. I park there at the Jefferson County, one of the municipal buildings, like health department or something, and they're right by the Midfield Fire Department usually, and then I'll cycle into the mountain and go all the way, just make the loop pretty much around the exterior part of Red Mountain, and then come back around, and I go to the Frankfort Drive entrance that's over by Lakeshore, and back around, which is about 17 miles when I do the whole circuit, but without any of the interior trails, so you can spend a lot of time at Red Mountain. It's probably my most frequented, mainly because it's right here by the house, but not only that, it's a really nice park. There's a lot of history there, a lot of stuff to look at if you're hiking, some really nice biking trails, and they're starting to cater some of the trails to biking, similar to what Oak Mountain is doing. Cahaba Park has some, some trails that's catered to mountain biking. Obviously Oak Mountain does. Tannehill has some nice hiking and biking trails as well. And where else have we been? Oh, Ladiga Trail is a nice rail trail if you go to it. It starts in Weaver, Alabama, right behind Anniston, and goes all the way to the state line. As Chief Ladiga Trail at the state line, it changes to the Silver Comet Trail and goes all the way into Atlanta. So if you're out for a long ride and you want to do a long road ride, I've done it on my mountain bike, 69 miles I think on my mountain bike, and that almost killed me, but I've taken my road bike there a couple of times and done 50-mile rides, and I hope my legs were a little tired from the ride yesterday. Newer trails always get me because you don't know the layout. Red Mountain, Oak Mountain on a couple of trails I've been through before, Tannehill, I've been through those trails. I know the ups and downs, pretty much everything. I'm prepared for it. Cahaba yesterday, everything was new. Every turn was new, so you're kind of bracing and a little more tense. I can just tell my legs were tired, so I knew I didn't want to do the Ladiga ride today. So depending on the timing of my Six Flags trip, which is still up in the air to which days, I may do Ladiga tomorrow, or I may do it Friday. See, what's today? Tuesday? Wednesday, Thursday? Yeah. So, anywho, if you have a chance to get out on the weekends, I recommend some of the parks. Ruffner Mountain is also a nice park. It's more hiking. If you take a bike over there, you're going to be carrying your bike up some pretty good climbs because it's rocky rooted, and there are some areas where you could take a bike, but it's a little more difficult, and really, I don't know, you could take a bike there, I imagine. I've never seen a bike there, and I go hike it and jog it, so it's not as bike friendly, to from my perspective. So, and I'm not sure if they encourage bikes or not, but it would be a difficult ride if you did take a bike there. So, anywho, just y'all be safe, enjoy getting out. Oh, and another bike trail I haven't been to but is on my list is the that was a huge bluebird, is the Coldwater Mountain or Coldwater Creek, I can't remember what it is, bike park. It's actually really near Anniston, I think near Munford or something like that, but It's supposed to be a really nice bike trail too, so it may be on my list for the weekend depending on when we do La Diga. But anywho, I may try to just go for a leisurely ride around Red Mountain today, or I may go hike it just to get a little stretch in my legs. So you guys have a safe week, be good, and keep digging it. See you later, guys.